What is going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka and we're back with another episode of Talking Movies. My boy VV is here. We are at the end of October, and we decided to close it out talking some Demon Mania.
Yeah, some the director Lamberto Bava said it's not another zombie movie. It's demons, but those demons are very zombie-esque, or basically also very Deadite-esque. So I think that the two demon movies have very much in common, like thematically, with the Evil Dead series.
What's up, Lamar?
Hey, Lamar. And like the Evil Dead movies, it's just they're short, they're entertaining, they're gory as fuck, X-rated or unrated, one of them. And yeah, you have so much talent in there, and you get some nice scenes from Berlin, which is always an interesting side. I have a love-hate relationship with Berlin.
Love-hate.
Yeah, it's actually I love the atmosphere in Berlin, but it's just everything is so gray. Everything is gray in gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see from our subtitles, we both agreed on the same quotes, because I will say the movie is not quotable. There's not a lot of great quotes in there.
There's not a lot of, in general, not a lot of talking in there anyway. It's more screaming. And,
more screaming and dying.
I think that's also what the producer, Dario Argento, said, that for him, basically imagination is like the international language, so it doesn't matter which language the movie's in. It's like when you watch it, you will enjoy it nevertheless.
And another funny thing about the quote we chose is that it's from a character. Actually, the actor played in both movies, but different characters. Because when I watched Demons 2, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same.
It's Bobby Rhodes.
Bobby Rhodes. Hey, he went from Tony the Pimp to Hank the Exercise Machine.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like as with every Rhodes, he's just a common man trying to make his living.
But technically, he's like the same person. He's like his character is not really any different, other than just being the pimp in the workout machine.
It's one of these cases where you have like a casting, and you have just a fantastic character, and you really it's like, hey, you just play yourself.
Just be yourself, man. This ain't no character acting. You don't need that. Now, I love the special effects.
Those are so good
in this film. Like the still images really hone in on the mouth and the makeup of the demons, and of course, when the iconic shot of them coming down the hall and their eyes are glowing. It's just
So Sergio Stivaletti did the special effects, and those don't have to hide from any high budget. I think the first movie cost $1.8 million, but it's immediately became a hit, a very well sold movie, and you can totally see. You have this very short running time. It gets immediately in. You have a fantastic atmosphere. Logic you can throw out of the window.
Yeah.
Don't even try to make that it makes sense. It's demons anyways. You can everything say it's just sorcery.
Supernatural stuff.
Supernatural things. Don't try to make it sense with a profane human mind.
And then it goes even more over the top in the second one. It's like, let me leak this fluid out and then burn the whole building with it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, what is really fantastic is also that even though there's a movie that totally stands on its own, or a movie series that totally stands on its own, in the first one especially, you have a lot of references to other Argento movies and movies by Mario Bava, of course, because Lamberto Bava, the director, is the son of Mario Bava. Lamberto Bava and Dario Argento, even though they're friends, they didn't get along at all.
Yeah, I was reading up on that. Like,
Yeah.
Argento was hands-on for the first movie.
Yeah.
And he changed a lot of things from the script, especially more in the second half, which didn't. The script writer was not too thrilled with that, and they had to pay him to leave the set.
Yeah, and Lamberto Bava said, like, he thought that Dario took too much credit of things around. So it's like, even though I still consider him as a friend, he never wants to work again with him on another project. The Two Demons movie were enough.
And he said the second Demon movie, Dario kind of backed off a bit. Gave him a little more free reign and wasn't interfering as much.
Yeah.
So even Dario called on as like, I kind of pissed my friend off. Let me back off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, and also, like, you have another very talented director in there. The guy that gave out, like, the tickets for the show.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Yeah, and he's Michel Soavi, and he directed fantastic movies. He's still directing stuff, and he did Della Morte dell'Amore, which is better known in the US as Cemetery Man.
Cemetery Man.
So it's a fantastic movie. It's basically it's not a comic book adaptation, but it's based on the Italian comic Dylan Dog. And Dylan Dog is a fantastic, like, supernatural horror comic in Italy that is still running. And whenever, like, I'm in Italy, I'm always picking up, like, Diabolic and Dylan Dog, because those comics are just awesome. They are not backing down, and you really get some crazy horror in there.
Nice. Now, the two scenes that always stood out for me before I even watched this film was, of course, Greta when she goes in the bathroom and that little bus.
Yeah.
That scene's been posted a lot of times on Instagram and YouTube.
And Charetta is also very vocal on social media right now. Like, I would have loved to have her on here, but I think she's at so many conventions right now, Halloween season. So this is where she makes the most of the money.
Yeah.
It's
she killed it as a demon when she became like the hair, the look, and just the way the makeup made her look deadly. And like, we needed more of her in the second half of the film, but what we got of her was good enough because she was scary in the scenes that she was in. But she was awesome.
Yeah. Very awesome, and like you said, you have a lot of creatures in this movie. Like, basically everybody turns into a demon.
Everybody.
But she's the first one, and also the most memorable one. She really makes herself stand out in a whole lineup of demons.
Yeah, when she put that mask on her face and scratched herself.
Yeah, that will teach you to touch things.
Yeah. And I love that they're watching the movie, right? Everybody's in the theater to watch the movie that the guy gave the ticket to. And what's happening in the movie, with the kids going to the site, the grave site, and seeing the bodies, and somebody gets scratched, she immediately starts to notice her scratch is still bleeding and stuff. And everything is happening at the same time with what's going on in the movie.
I really liked it. Very interesting, of course. This is one of these things where you could think too much. It's like, why is this even happening? But it's like, just let yourself loose in this movie. Just enjoy it.
I like it.
I want to go a little bit earlier to the movie. What I love in the beginning is when one of the two college girls is like in the Berlin subway, and then she sees the guy who's played by Michel Saovi, and he's wearing this creepy mask, and she thinks she's in danger. The first scene is totally shot like a giallo from Dario Argento.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is definitely some giallo style shooting.
Exactly, but then is, of course, the plot twist is now he hands out tickets.
But I'm like, that dude still look creepy as fuck with that mask on and stuff. I'm like, is he a regular? Do people just see him as some normal guy? Because It just seems odd that he's walking around like that, dressed in all black.
It's West Berlin in the 80s.
So that's normal then.
That's very normal. Like especially you had a really big like punk scene also like at that time in Berlin. So
hey, the fucking soundtrack. Yeah. I was bopping my head to this the whole way. And the opening intro song, the instrumental is like, oh, they throwing a little hip hop in there, you know, with the nods, the beat nods and stuff. They even reference Nostradamus. Oh, that sounds like a rap group. I was like, yo, the soundtrack was banging. You had some Billy Idol in there.
Of course, there's also like a reference to Mooney, the Nostradamus name variant that I cannot name. With a Chappelle show. But yeah, the soundtrack is done by Claudio Simonetti, who is of course like from Goblin.
Oh, nice.
So of course, last week. Exactly. So of course it sounds awesome, and they also have like some metal and rock songs mixed in there. So
I was like, it was kind of distracting because while they was at the theater, they kept going to this other group of like young people rocking out in the car, driving and snorting coke and shit. And I'm like, it's distracting that they keep shifting over to them because the music is getting to me. I'm like,
yeah. That's also like I think that was the most actually like the most controversial scene with the coke in their car. But I also really appreciate that they had like the coke in the car.
I don't even know. Dude was getting a bit too risky with the damn knife, scooping up coke off. But you know, she was high on her mind to let him keep doing it.
Yeah, she was clearly into it a little bit.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man. So the whole basic premise of the film is that everybody gets this golden ticket from the man in black with the metal mask.
Yeah. And
they go to this premiere of a movie. And they don't really know what the movie is. And I know one of the girls, Kathy, was like, "This better not be a horror movie, because I get a heart attack, and this is your fault."
This kind of guerrilla marketing, you can be sure it's a horror movie.
And I love how the look of the theater from the outside. And
it's actually back in the day. I think I don't know if it's still, but back in the day it was like a club in Berlin.
It looks like a
So basically everything from the interior was shot in Italy. Like the everything like on the outdoor was shot in Berlin.
Oh.
And they also I don't know if it's still now, but they also had like horror cons in the metropole, of course, because the movie was shot there. So it's should be still in Berlin if anyone wants to see it.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
Metropole. But I love the outside design of it.
Yeah.
And it does have an eerie feel to it for that to be a theater.
Yeah.
And
everything in Berlin has an eerie feel to it.
You did say it's the gray on gray, so
yeah, like I was a while there because one of my ex-girlfriends is from Berlin, and of course like I was quite often with her in Berlin, so it was always so interesting since of course we have like this German culture rivalry going on between Austria like and the Republic of Germany. So of course every time I was there, it's like, well, it's not Vienna. Like it's
and plus, this movie was made during the time when the Berlin Wall was still up.
Yeah, it was like West Berlin, and it's I guess like it was really like West Berlin was like this island, and this is also I think this is like also a feeling you can clearly feel from this movie from the outdoors. It's it was like a very punky city back in the day. Also like I think and also like excessive stuff, like Nick Cave was there, like David Bowie was in West Berlin. Like a lot of artists traveled there, like and let the city be their muse, because it was like this weird feeling to be like an island surrounded by like a communist regime.
But it definitely had its own identity, especially with that punk rock culture.
Yeah, it's still nowadays, even though Berlin is like reunited, but you still have like this West and Eastern like rivalry going on. Like for example, especially like in sports, like that still the Eastern the East Berlin sports clubs still feel like they are treated like to be less than the Western ones. So it's still like you still have that everything there. So. And I think this will for sure still stay at least like with one generation.
Damn. East versus West, man.
It's also have to with the rap groups, like with West and East Berlin, where you have the rivalry there.
East West.
Yeah, it's like it's always.
It's never changed, man. It never changed. But yeah, everybody goes to this theater to watch this movie that turns out to be a horror movie. And the movie is, like you said, it's referencing Nostradamus, and of course, nosy ass fucking young people got to be nosy as hell and look at shit, and like deep in the night, and you going through all these blocks of tombs and stuff like that, and something bad gonna happen. And like I said earlier, like what happens on the film simultaneously happens in reality. Yes. And it's actually, I like that aspect of it. What happens on film happened in reality. And when the first demon show up on film, that's when Greta becomes a demon.
Yes, and her transformation very gnarly. And this is also something that I really love about both Demons movies is they're disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And the transformations are so well done. Also love later when the other hooker transforms, and you can see, how her teeth fall out and replaced by like spiky teeth, fangs, yeah.
Spiky teeth fangs. I was like, oh
yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose when she transforms in front of him, because she was behind the curtain where the movie was being played, and she had to scratch her way through it. At the same time, with the movie showing the guy trying to stick the knife through the tent.
And you have like in the audience, of course, like, are these real screams? Now it's in the movie.
Yeah, it's Dobley.
yeah.
I did get a laugh at when he said it's Dobley.
Yeah. I also really like the protagonist of the movie, who is played by Urbano Barberini. In my opinion, one of the most underrated actors in Italian cinema. Because he's also the hero in two, at least I think they're awesome, in two awesome sword and sorcery movies, which is Gore and Outlaw of Gore. Those they're not so well known, but they're awesome. And he also has a fantastic role in another Dario Argento movie, in Dario Argento's Opera. Yeah, which is also a movie that I very much recommend. It's
I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, it's also one of these movies where it's like, you better watch your eyes.
They love torturing the eyes.
Yeah, because there's like, have this killer who's like basically kidnapping people and have like, needles glued there, so they have to keep their eyes open, otherwise.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the special effects and the transformations were spot on. And and things get crazy. I like how Tony the Pimp immediately wants to take charge.
Yeah.
Like both movies established that no matter how different his characters were, he's got to take charge of stuff.
Yeah, and I think also the roles, in the first movie, of course, like being a pimp. In the second movie, being this gym owner, this fitness trainer. Both are roles where you pretty much have to take charge. So, and this is what it brings to the table.
And he's got the voice enough to take charge.
Yeah.
But he's pretty say hands-on with taking charge, and it kind of backfired on him because he ain't watching his own back.
Yeah, and you also have two of Dario Argento's daughters playing in one movie.
Yeah,
Fiore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Fiore Argento, his older daughter, who is playing the chick that transforms uh, in the air in the Luftschacht. What is it in English again? The thing where the air flows in, so where you can crawl.
You know what's funny is the blind man and the girl.
the cucked blind man.
First of all, why you take a blind man to a movie theater knowing he can't see shit? And he got
The director says this was actually like done because of irony. Like he we wanted to have the irony of a blind man going to the cinema.
and then he's sitting there listening to the movie, and some other dude come and take his girl.
Yeah.
And they start mating in the other room, and then he's like, "Where's she at?" No, he's trying to feel and stuff like that. Where you at? Where you at? She's all concerned and shit, but the other dude like, man, don't worry about him, man. Let's keep getting busy.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but it's comical at the same time.
It is, and this is also what I love about this both movies. Is they really managed to hold the thin line between funny and ridiculous.
I just love that Greta got both of them.
Yeah. So this movie is still terrifying while being funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's why I said Peter Jackson took inspiration for this when he did Dead or Alive, because Dead or Alive is one of the funniest blood splatter movies ever. and this movie is
your mother ate my dog.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah, Brain Dead for surely more quotable.
Yes, way more quotable. that we will touch on in the future.
We need a new war.
He's got the bite. I love that film.
Yeah.
So it's like he took inspiration from this and then made Brain Dead and gave it so many quotes in that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie like really upped the ante when everybody starts to transform.
Yeah.
And like I said, Greta is like leading the charge, and then next you start to see the transformations of everybody else. What I like when she did the blind man, took his eyeballs out. I'm like, God Lord. Again, eye torture when it comes to Argento or Fucci.
Yeah, like Italians love their eyes.
I don't know why they have this type of fetish on torturing people's eyes.
I don't think it's so much a fetish, but it's more the effectiveness of terror.
They got a fetish for destroying
eyes. Because I think that with a lot of American horror movies, they're too tame, and of course when you not talk about like some of the more indie gore movies from the US, of course there's also some sick stuff like going on. But what I really love about the Italian movies is that they don't hold back if it is effective for the movie.
Yeah. Which means my eyes got to see somebody else's eyes get ripped out.
Exactly, because nobody wants everybody's like, I like my eyes, and of course when you see somebody's eyes poked out in any sort of way, or just when you have the fear of losing your eyesight, it's very gnarly. It's also the same, of course, when there's a transformation, you lose your teeth. Like everybody has nightmares that like to lose your teeth, and those are the worst.
Going to the dentist sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how they all like start the barricade, and they run out. They find out that they're locked in, and I always thought that the lady who was running the place, I always felt that she was kind of like evil or something like that, just the way she looked.
Yeah.
But it didn't really like further explore that, but it is what it is. But every door is locked, they can't get out, and then they realize, man, we need to find a way to shelter ourselves from these zombies.
That's also what was fantastic, when they try to flee out of the main doors, and they rip down the doors, and then they realized, okay, they're basically built in. So somebody laid bricks and closed like
that's the thing. Like, how the hell both movies have the same premise where they get trapped in the building? Who is barricading this shit? Hell, who makes the garage doors so damn thick that you can't even run a car through them in the second movie?
Probably they have a bunch of Mexican demons.
It's crazy, man. There ain't no windows in these buildings or nothing. I like these buildings need to be condemned, like Egon said in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because
like I said, there's also one of the like, don't question the logic of the movie. Go with the atmosphere.
Hey, you're gonna question it if you're trapped inside there. Like, who the fuck built this shit like this, man?
Yeah.
You trying to get the fuck out.
Yeah, this is the moment where you have to like realize it's like, you're fucked.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Hey, just take that axe and chop my head off. That way I don't come back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I ain't trying to come back.
And this is also where, of course, where the demons are very close to zombies, because if they bite you, if they scratch you, you're gonna turn into a demon.
Yeah, and the movie really does a good job in hiding that fact. Like, you don't know how you get affected until like one little nick.
Yeah.
They can grab you and that's automatic. You're gonna transform. Because their nails are so long that grab is gonna pierce your skin.
Yep.
So it's crazy. You know, zombies more like they like to have to bite you or something like that or scratch you. But these guys got them super long nails along with fangs. So it's like you're screwed either way.
Yeah, very much. But it was also it's great. Like all the killing scenes, very innovative.
Mm-hmm.
And you really, it's like you get a lot of like diverse action there. It's not repetitive, which is always good in a horror movie when you have some really memorable kills in there. And also the finale, I really love, when the helicopter crashes inside the cinema.
Bro, now that shit was out of nowhere. I was like, wait a minute, the helicopter just dropped through? What the fuck happened? I know, like, don't question logic. But come on, what helicopter flying above and just all of a sudden dropped out of nowhere?
This kind of helicopter.
Oh my god.
You don't have to get to the chopper when the chopper comes to you.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the cinema!
But the chopper comes damaged, man. It drops down and it's fucked up.
But the rotor still functions and does a very good job decapitating demons.
I like when they try and start to barricade the theater area where Tony the Pimp gets jumped by the guy who got hung, the guy who was mating with the blind man's wife.
Yeah.
He got hung, and all of a sudden he came up and grabbed Tony the Pimp and took him down with it. I was like, oh man, so much for Tony the Pimp being a leader. But he'll get his second chance.
Yeah, he's respawning.
But yeah, it's like they're trapped in the theater, and you got all these creatures everywhere, and you got the little side plot with the 4 people that we mentioned earlier driving the car, the young cokeheads, and like I said, they were distracted because the music was so damn good that I was like, where is this leading to? Where is this gonna go to? And then of course they get stopped because they had to clean up all the cocaine that they spilled.
But the police in Berlin, there's this stereotype that German is not very funny. The police in Germany is even unfunny.
The police just came by, saw them there, and they just start chasing them, and they all find a way. Well, actually, that was the part that was pretty surprising. That made me think that the place is is actually possessed because the door opened up for them.
Yeah, like people get in, only they can't get out.
They can't get out, so it's like, yo, this house really is fucking possessed. The whole damn movie theater is an entity. That would have been something if they would have explored that more. Like the whole building's an entity.
But they don't really get into exposition more than what you hear like in the movie inside the cinema. Like this is basically most of the exposition you're getting, which of course also like very short runtime. And I also don't think that the second movie really really adds something to the mythology. It's also more like, hey, it's basically sort of the same in a high rise.
And a high rise that's possessed too.
Yeah.
So they get into the building. One of them got a gun and starts shooting at the demons, and that the people inside at the theater say, "Oh, somebody's shooting. That means we could be saved." And they start moving the furniture. They're like, "Nah, bro." They still waiting on the other side, and sure enough, them demons jump out of there, and they just start slaughtering everybody. It was like blood splatter everywhere, and I'm like,
it's glorious. Like also the amount of blood used here, it's really gory and glorious. What I also really love is, of course, with the demons, you have like this green gore, like, and also like very neon colors. You just have to look, just look online any picture of Charetta in this movie and getting now to have something here. I just have
the photos really highlight.
Yeah, of course, like there's some really nice demon action here.
Put that back up. I've got them split.
Oh yeah, that's like Urbano Barberini on the other side, and then the demon spawn on the other.
Hey, when I posted that scene,
and of course, like a nice. I don't know how many titles this movie has. It's also crazy. It's also the weird thing with the German title is that the first movie is called Demons 2 and the second movie is Demons, because the second movie came out first before the original came out here. So into the German, in the original when it came out in Germany, they switched both movies. So the second one is the first one, which makes absolutely no sense. But German releases never made any sense.
Now, when you showed the picture, I was like, that scene that I posted on my Instagram is a classic scene. I should have had the background have Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. Because man, when she got into that arc position and that demon spawn came up, I was like, hey, fuck CGI. This is great special effects here.
Yes. And this also shows really what you can do with a small budget when you have some really creative people like board. And this is also something that I really think which people should have been more inspired by with Italian cinema is how much they made out of so little budget.
If you play your cards right, with a small budget, you can make a really good film. And
absolutely.
Especially with the right prosthetics and aesthetics to it, special effects. You can make magic out of it. I mean, that's what made the first Deadpool movie successful, is that they made magic out of a small budget film.
Exactly, because then you're like, I always think that sometimes a big budget can hinder people. When you shoot something, we're gonna fix this in post. Like here, you can't fix it. Now it has to be done right. What I love, which the father of the director of Demons, Lamberto Bava's father, Mario Bava. For me, it's still the most awesome thing a director has ever did. When they filmed Danger Diabolic, and Dino De Laurentiis said he's gonna give him like a $2 million budget, and he says he doesn't need more than 500,000. And if you give him more money, it won't look any better. Like he refused to have a bigger budget because like,
not only that, you increase the money that you increase the pressure that the movie got to make that money.
Yeah.
Back. And sometimes you don't really need all that pressure. That's why a lot of movies, when they have a small budget first film and it's successful, they like, increase the budget for the second movie. And sometimes that can be hit or miss because you can't recapture the magic that small budget first movie did.
Personally, I think that studios put way too much money in marketing.
Yes, I agree, because that's where most of the budget goes.
This is where it doubles. Yeah, this is where it absolutely doubles, and this is why always people say you have basically to movies have to make twice as much as what the budget is to break even because they don't account like the marketing into the movie budget. So, and it's still because personally I don't think that the traditional marketing that the studios do really has a big impact. Especially nowadays, I think we're like at a point where basically the only marketing you would have to do is, hey, this movie focuses on story and you're not getting any like political bullshit, doesn't matter from which side in it. It's just a movie you can enjoy. I think that's actually enough marketing that a movie needs right now. And as you can see, when you have something there that the mouth propaganda of people like will add to it, like the word of mouth.
That I was about to say, in this day and age, you don't need to have a massive marketing campaign. You got social media.
Yeah.
All it takes is one trailer, and motherfuckers are reacting to that trailer. They're sharing the trailer. Exactly. It's going viral. You don't need to have a billion-dollar marketing campaign to sell the movie. Just put it on social media. Say, hey, this movie is coming out. And let people build that word of mouth up.
Yeah, it's the same thing, I go in the fucking supermarket. I wanna buy some. I just wanna buy some chocolate bars. And what is on the fucking chocolate bar? Ooh, watch Rings of Power, on Amazon. It's like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, you did not put fucking marketing on chocolate bars to bring people to watch it. Just respect Tolkien's vision and people would have watched it.
Hey, remember when they used to market some of those movies on kids' cereal boxes?
Yeah, it's I think still the best blueprint of modern marketing was done with Blair Witch Project.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah, they used the early internet to its full potential. And I still think nowadays, like you said, bring out the trailer. If the trailer is well done, it will spread.
Yep.
And
especially in this day and age.
Yeah. So you just have to make something viral. What something is good, so it goes viral. It's like the Barbie movie made so much money in box office, and it's not just. I mean, it's also part because it's a Barbie movie. Of course, like this brand is very strong, but no, it's like the trailer was done so well.
Didn't give away a whole lot.
Exactly. Like I watched the trailer and I was like, that is like this is solid. It is funny. It's but I also don't know yet how the whole movie goes.
Yeah, too many trailers nowadays give away the damn movie.
Yeah, and the Barbie movie wouldn't have needed any posters out there, like cross-marketing. It's like basically the Barbie movie, the marketing is already in the toy aisles in the store.
And I will say, though, them posters back in the day sold the movies for me.
Yes, back in the days,
when in New York, when they had the movie posters in the subways, that's what made me so intrigued about Dead Alive, Brain Dead, because that damn picture of the girl pulling out her face and the demon in it.
Back in the day, movie posters were art.
Yes, and it made you want to go see the movie because of the poster.
Yeah, and today you watch a movie despite some of the posters. It's very rare that a poster it has like a very convincing
I
art
mean,
on
come
it.
on, look at this, man. Look at this.
Yeah,
You see that? After you see the first two Evil Dead movies, hey, like, hey, I'm down for Ash being the man.
absolutely.
So
I think who did it? I think also Renato Casa. Like almost every fantastic cinema poster artist was either Italian
mhm.
or heritage Italian, because Frank Frazetta also did some awesome cinema posters, and of course he's also of Italian descent.
Yeah, so a lot of those posters, 70s and 80s, and even early 90s.
Yeah, also Demons had so many
So,
different posters, but all of them you just see the poster and it's like, I want to watch the movie.
and the main picture that I use for the thumbnail is iconic.
Yeah.
It's iconic. Again, you see a poster like that and you're intrigued. You're like, man, what is this about? These demons on this poster look creepy as hell with the eyes and all that. And I love the shot in the movie that actually shows it. Them coming out of that dark hallway, them eyes glowing.
Exactly.
And I love that. When you see something on a poster and it happens in the movie, that right there just says, all right.
And glowing eyes are absolutely scary. And I think this is also something that I don't know. I personally, I think it's probably is also something very deep in our DNA, because of course many animal predators have like this night sight. So of course, when we were still hiding from those predators, like in the early age, this immediately screams dangerous to human, and this is why it's also so effective. I also think that is this not like red eyes or anything that is mostly, but I think like just this fluorescent like eyes are way too little used in horror movies. Demons do it well. Ghostbusters 2, the most scary scene in Ghostbusters 2 are like the shiny lights when he kidnaps like the baby. So this is like one of as a kid, this was like the thing in Ghostbusters 2 that freaked me out when I watched it, because it's like
when Vigo hypnotized Ray with them eyes.
No, not that one.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying. Just Ray looking at the eyes.
Yeah.
And them eyes, Zap, what's his name, to become his servant.
Yes.
So there's certain things about what the eyes can do.
Exactly, and this movie uses so well. When you see them in the distance, and immediately fucking menace.
Yes, and them coming down that hallway is such an iconic shot. That's why they had to use that as the poster to the movie, because it sells what happens in the movie.
Yeah, and this is also what I love. You see the poster, and you like immediately, okay, it's gonna be like in the movie, which is not always with posters, because I know like a lot of Italian movies, of course, where the poster was better than the actual movie. They sold it on the poster alone.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they really did a great job with that special effect with the eyes and incorporating it into the poster to really get people intrigued on what this movie is about, And I like the getting towards the end, when they're trying to get out and everybody's getting infected and it's like all hope is lost.
Yeah.
You went from 4 main characters down to 2. And like I said, Kathy's transformation was wild as fuck. A demon spawn coming out of her. It was even wilder in the second fucking movie, with the boy.
The boy, it was like there was a midget, of course, like after the possession. It was not a kid that they used.
They had to get a midget, of course.
Yeah, naturally. It's like you can't have like a kid in demon costume and armor on a set. It's like...
But still, it still was effective,
Yes, very much effective. In general, the second movie, a lot of people say it's just, it's just a copy of the first one. Carbon copy. Yeah, it's they're not wrong, but it's still
basically the same.
It's basically the same, but it's more of the same of something awesome. So
yeah, that is like. I feel like even the second movie, the demons are even more wilder in that. Because the one scene in the first movie where I was like, yo, these demons are outrageous, was when he was on the motorcycle driving around. And these demons are flying. I'm talking, they jumping in the air trying to catch this motherfucker. Yo, that's what made the demons stand out the most, is that they still have human elements that they don't give a fuck. They gonna lunge at you if they can.
Yeah, because it's just like it's basically just a vessel, the human body that they use.
Yeah, and they gonna lunge, they gonna jump all over the place. I was like, yo, I was waiting for a demon to do a Batman free throw from Arkham Asylum or something.
I actually really liked it in the second movie, at the end, when they climb from the high rise and the demon like it's basically
upside down.
Yeah.
Yo, like Sally was going upside down.
Yeah, upside down, like coming down. That was really scary. Or really well done too.
Yeah, it was well done. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, the demons in there is just so fucking awesome. And the way they escape, of course, that fucking helicopter, like you said, the chopper comes to you, just falls through the damn roof, and like, oh, now we can escape out the roof. They get to the roof, and they climb down.
And Suave with the mask is there, of course. Like they were hacking out the cinema tickets, and then.
But then that's when they noticed that because the cops got killed by the blind man, when the punks got inside the building, the blind man escaped and killed the cops. Now everybody outside of the building is getting infected.
Yeah, now the city is lost.
Yes, now the apocalypse has begun because now people are getting infected and they're becoming demons.
Just another weekend in Berlin.
And then they like, man, what are we gonna do and stuff? And then this car comes, with this older guy and his two kids, one girl and one younger son, and they're like, come join us. I was like, first of all, I would have kept going. Like, fuck that shit. We got our guns, we got our shit. I ain't bringing in nobody. Fuck that.
Yeah. I personally, every time I see this scene, I was thinking it's like where you're going. We're going to a rural place, and it's like, oh, because of the demons. Demons? No, we just want to get out of Berlin.
Yes. Get the hell out of the city. It's the first thing they did in Dawn of the Dead. Get the fuck out the city into open area.
Like the city's already horrible without demons and zombies.
Yeah. Get into open area, man.
Like especially in the US, in California, you don't need even demons and zombies. Like you just need Democrats, and people are like fleeing the state. Which, by the way, also starts with a D. Demons and Democrats.
Political slander here.
Yeah. That's why everybody's moving to Texas.
Oh my god. See, I can't stand Texas though. I'm sorry, man. I'd rather move out of the United States than move to anywhere else in the United States.
I'm pretty sure Matt will keep you safe.
And then the movie does like this ending where they're behind the characters and they start zooming in on the girl. And all before that, like I said, I was thinking the dude was going to turn because he got supposedly injured.
Scratch there.
He got injured. I thought he got injured when he was riding the bike and one of the demons scratched him.
It was like it was kept like mysterious, but it was like very well like I said, it was a very well laid trap because it was not him turning, it was the chick because he had like a scratch behind the ear.
And they pulled the swerve on me, man. Make me think it's gonna be the dude, but it ended up being the chick. I'm like, damn it. and I love how soon as she turned, old homegirl was ready to blast her ass.
Yeah.
I was like, she must have knew automatically, like, yeah, get that bitch out of here. And then, like I said, if it was me in that, after she transformed, I would have put my gun on him, like, yo, she transformed, you might be next. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. I'm gonna blow your ass off this Jeep. And the movie ends just like that.
Yeah. I think really cool ending. This movie is is one freaky ride from beginning to end. You don't get a lot of breathing room between anything.
Nope.
But that's the wonderful thing about this is also this movie is so rewatchable. And for me, I think if you have like a horror party, this is the best movie to just put on there.
And another thing is, like, you can watch Demons 2 without watching Demons 1. And
Yeah.
You won't really lose anything. Like, Demons 2 is like its own movie in itself. Because it's
just
not a continuation.
Yeah, they just reference, like, in the fake documentary where the demons then come out of the TV, that, of course, this is like, this documentary was done, like, on the place where the demons appeared, like, from the first movie. But it's just thrown in there, and it's like you can watch it at your own. And last week when I said that when I read like the synopsis of Evil Dead Rise and Demons 2, that I thought that Evil Dead Rise is very similar. Interesting enough, I watched Evil Dead Rise this week, since it came out on Blu-ray, and both movies like are different, but it's like there's really some similarities are very interesting. So in general, of course, the demons feel so much like Deadites. So it's if somebody would have just said like this is like basically like a side project of Evil Dead, a little spin-off. You don't have to change anything about Demons 2, and you can still totally say they're Evil Dead movies.
Because I was thinking when he found that book in that little tomb, I was like, is that the Necronomicon? The Book of the Dead?
Yeah, and it's so funny because in Evil Dead Rise, they also like, of course, find the book like after like an earthquake under the high rise. I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. It was really fantastic. I'm certainly gonna rewatch it.
I'm gonna check it out myself.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm so out of watching stuff in cinemas. I always wait now until the Blu-ray release.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah, and especially now we basically say like, hey, every movie that you actually wanted to in cinemas is postponed. Do you want to see Mission Impossible? After the cliffhanger from last year, this year, we have to wait until 2025. Do you want to see Dune 2?
It's fucking crazy how we had the pandemic 2 years ago. Yeah. That shut down movies. Now we got this strike that's shutting down movies. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, man. We can't get no break as cinema goes.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that these are the only two movies where like, I want to watch them actually in cinema. So basically, you don't have a lot of pressure like material. It's not like people storming cinemas to watch your movies. It's anymore. Yeah. It's really the only case that it's like Barbie that was like a huge hit, but I was sure that it was because it was just a time where I think was really right for it. Because Barbie is so omnipresent, especially of course like in for females that were growing up with it. The
amount of Barbie cosplayers I saw the last couple months, they were really excited for that movie.
Yeah, so that movie they did everything right. I mean, I still have to watch it. Actually, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
Wow. You're gonna transform into Ken.
I'm just Ken. Everywhere else I'd be a 10. I'm Ken.
But yeah, outside of certain new characters and of course returning thing. Yes.
Hey, Flex and Comics Jojo.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, she like on Instagram like recently very nice horror experiences and cons.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
I love watching some of the replays of her coming fresh out the theater talking about movies.
I still working for the UFC. Like I really hope there's not gonna be a lot of UFC crossover with the WWE because
Las Cruces. What's going on?
Las Cruces.
But yeah, like when it comes to Demons 2, it's basically a carbon copy of the first movie.
Yeah, but it's nothing bad.
Yeah, it's still enjoyable. Now the whole thing with the high rise replacing the movie theater. We've seen movies with high rises and they could be terrifying themselves.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, can this get any more supernatural than a fucking demon coming out of a goddamn TV?
And they also did this so well, because it was basically just like a latex mask pushing against a latex screen. And the fun thing was, the most difficult thing I think they did with the Demons 2 was to get the latex to Italy. They had to import like the latex liquid because they couldn't get any of them in Italy. Yep. Like it was just the only person moving to Cali, not to Texas.
But yeah, the whole coming out the TV thing, it's far fetched, but I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
No man, because next thing you know, like she's watching the TV, he's coming through the TV, but we don't actually see him bust through the TV.
Yeah.
But then he's just right there, magically. And Sally, and I like how it's Sally's birthday, but they fucking lock the door because they don't want her to come out to see the whole surprise and stuff. And she gets caught by the demon, and she comes out in
one big surprise.
Big surprise. Blows out the fire, and then next thing you know, we see the teeth effect. We see the transformation, and she starts slaughtering everybody in there, man. And then we get the most weirdest scene in the movie where it's like she's standing there, and all of a sudden, like certain things melting, and acid coming. I'm like, wait a minute now, demons can do this shit.
Well, it's like it worked in Alien, so
yeah, I know. I'm like, what are they trying to do here? Have some acid blood and drip through the whole building? It poisoned everybody in the building that touched that blood.
As everybody knows, when the Italians did movies, nothing was sacred to steal.
Nah, they took from everything.
Yes, and they transformed it, and it works very nicely. And I especially love, that guy like in the sauna and the.
But the thing that makes this movie different from the first is Sally. She's the main baddie of the demons. Like she's there. She's the first one to transform, and she's the last one to go at the end. So it's like she's a constant presence throughout the movie. That's what makes it different from the first.
Yeah, and of course you have like a very young Asia Argento in there, Dario's youngest daughter, and it was like because with an Italian movie you never know who's safe, but I think that maybe that was like Dario's too late this time. You don't kill my daughter.
Not this time.
Not this time.
She gonna survive.
Yeah.
Hey, like that nepotism got to run strong, so I can't kill off all my family.
Yeah.
But outside of that, again, they said they dialed back on the gore, but I was like, the movie still has its fair share of gory violence.
Yeah, and that movie in the US got X-rated.
Yeah. But what I did like, my favorite scene though is we mentioned it earlier. The little boy becomes a demon. Because at first he was hiding, and I was like, "Boy, you better stay in that room, man. They ain't find you yet." But he got to go out with his little toy gun and stuff, and then they coming up the stairs, running up the stairs, and he's trying to find many ways to hide. He hides in this little closet, and Sally looks in there, don't see him, and then the blood drips on him. I'm like, "Oh fuck, man."
Yeah.
But then he fools the girl, the pregnant woman. He fools her by talking in his child's voice, which will fool anybody. She fell for the trick, opened the door, and that boy just started busting through. Straight demon. And he comes through. And here's the thing, I understand she's pregnant. So she's having a hard time defending herself.
Yeah.
But when the boy got blinded, and started to spawn off his mini spawn, she's standing there holding a knife. This is prime opportunity to go over there and just shank the fuck out of that thing.
Yeah.
But she's too scared to do anything, and she runs into another room. I was like, horror tropes, man. They never fucking go with the flow and say, you got a knife in your hand, shank that bitch to death.
Yeah. You got a knife, you gotta lose it in somebody else.
And then you're standing next to a whole bunch of knives, but then you run away from the whole kitchen that you have all the utilities to take out the demon.
But hey, in the end, everything went well for her.
Yeah, it went well. After extended sequence, she could have ended it right then and there. And the elevator scene was also cool because the husband was trapped in the elevator with another woman, and they was going to get assistance from a security guard, and Sally came and just scratched his face all up.
Yeah,
fucked him up.
Good. Personally, of course, my favorite scene was in the gym when the demons wreaked havoc among the bodybuilders.
First of all, they shouldn't have been still in there working out.
Yeah.
And Hank, Tony the Pimp from the first movie, he has a bigger presence in this film as a leader, and I gotta say, he was doing a great job leading.
Absolutely. I also think that was like the reason why they recast him, and maybe also thought, hey, maybe you should have given a little bit more screen time in the first one, because he really has a screen presence.
Yeah.
Like a natural screen presence. Like, he may not be the best actor, but he's really a character, and he's one of those like where it's like, hey, this is like a memorable character in the movie, and you really want to let him a little bit shine. So, and for the second movie, they really let him until he almost makes it. Almost.
I will say, before his demise, he was doing a great job leading those people, because telling them to block the doors off, getting the axe, hey-ass shotgun, so he was able to put some kills in. So I was like, yo, man, I'm liking him more than he was in the first movie. Then he met his demise in probably the most uncomfortable, unsatisfying way.
Yeah.
I was like, good Lord. Why they gotta do him like that? Couldn't they just... I'd rather them just rip out his eyeballs than what they did to him in this film. But yeah, I thought he was definitely an improvement in this film.
Yeah.
And a good reason to watch it as well.
Absolutely. Like, he's still making his living, I think, from going to horror cons because of these two roles that he has.
Oh yeah.
Has he done actually anything else? Let me see.
Yeah, his name ain't highlighted, so I don't think
he was like in a miniseries, like in an Italian miniseries, and there he had like the totally not racist name Black Dog. like in the Treasure from Space, Treasure like La Isola del Tesoro. Bobby Rhodes plays Black Dog.
Hey man, they should have brought him into wrestling and have him be the cousin of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
You gotta love this
son of a plumber.
Yep.
But outside, I like the another scene that I like is the whole coming up the stairs and what's the name, like setting them up to get blown up. When he was releasing the gas and I thought it should have had a bigger explosion, because that gas and fire could have just blew that whole section up.
That's the budget reasons.
Budget reasons cut that down, but it took them out, except for Sally, because she was protected. But the whole scene on the roof, Sally coming on there and then climbing down upside down on the rope. It was a pretty cool effect.
And I also really like the ending, when they go into the in this studio where it's like you don't know, it's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is happening? and then they had the birth of the baby, which in the first draft of the story should have been a demon baby, but then Lamberto Bava said
that's what was going through my mind. Like, she's gonna spawn a demon baby.
that was
he was
yeah.
holding that baby, and that baby was gonna transform and just scratch his face.
That was the original plan, but Lamberto Bava said, "Hey, let's end this one holds."
Nah, I was ready for a bad ending. I was like, nah. I would have been thrilled if that baby would have transformed and scratched the fuck out of it.
Maybe it was like, after working now with 2 movies together with that Aria changed as a producer, I just need some peace at the end.
He just wanted to end on a good note.
And Lamberto Bava is very talented in that regard. Like I said the last time, he's done a lot of fairy tale stuff, like in Italian cinema for kids and families. So in Europe, a very like a Christmas tradition here is actually to watch like his Princess Fantagioro, which is based like on Italian folklore. This is basically the what is like a US tradition to watch. Like anything, like not really Christmassy, but something you always watch Christmas. Last Unicorn, but that's also what we watch like for Christmas every time.
Outside of like maybe holiday specials and stuff like that.
But it's like But it's like also one of these things, every time that the Christmas season came, that was like on TV all the time, and I have to rewatch. I actually have it on Blu-ray, so I gotta rewatch it. But yeah, Lamberto Bava, of course, like it's very tough to have this name because Mario Bava, his father, was, in my opinion, the best director that ever existed. He did magic in every genre with every sort of budget. He did some of the best swords and sandals movies. He basically invented the giallo, and with it the slasher. So basically his movie Bay of Blood is actually like the blueprint for slasher movies for late in the US. Like you can see that a lot of the the point of view from the killer, the shots that Carpenter used this later with Halloween. So so this like the slasher also is inspired by Mario Bava's work. Then his plays with colors, which is also used in Demon. So basically, green safe, red danger. You have like this mix of colors, like very vibrant colors in there.
And the blue in the hallway.
Yeah. So for having like this godfather of cinema as your father, I think Lamberto Bava did a fantastic job to make his own name.
Yep, and I thought he crafted 2 good demon films. Like even if the second one is a carbon copy of the first, it still has enough differences to stand out on its own.
Yeah, and it's it's like I think we said also like Demons. It's like still one of his most favorite movies for how it like everything works.
Yeah. Outside of Dario's interference and all that stuff.
Yeah. Also from Lamberto Bava, I still have to watch like the in fact I don't even know there's an English title. But there's like the Ring of the Dragon, which is an Italian fantasy miniseries, and you have like Franco Nero as the Dragon King. So I have to watch this one.
It's been interesting to see what would have been like had the third movie happen. But they said it was rewritten and released as The Church.
The Church is fantastic. But isn't The Church also directed by Soavi? Yeah, the Church is fantastic movie. I have to get the new Blu-ray because I'm still having like the old DVD and the quality of that one is actually horrid. But this was a movie that I really enjoyed when I watched it for the first time as a teenager, The Church. So this is also like I want to recommend it, maybe also one that we can talk in the future.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and look that one up.
Yeah,
but just the poster alone, it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, you have like a lot of like things with like with gargoyles on the church and they're turning. It's like it's one of these beautiful occult movies that you rarely see nowadays. I always laugh movies that like that are horror movies, yes, but they are most of all occult movies. Actually, one of the best
Those
ones
are fun
actually.
though. I like
Yeah,
occult movies.
yeah. One of my favorite is still The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I
That
like
one
that
is
movie
so
too.
good. It is so crazy because also like the book is one of my favorite books that it's based on, but the book is basically the movie is only one half of the book, but I can also totally tell why because the book on the one hand is like of course what the Ninth Gate is, and on the other hand it's about the Three Musketeers.
The Three Musketeers.
Yeah, it's a
Man,
yeah.
Three Musketeers.
I absolutely recommend the book that the Ninth Gate is based on.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out the church. And like I said, anything, any more like there's plenty of Italian horrors and Jellos. I'm all open to watch
Yeah.
and discuss.
Yeah, it's like that's like I said, it's a good thing. It's like Hollywood, like we don't care what you do nowadays. We have
We got
movies,
plenty,
we have decades worth of movies to talk about or to watch.
decades worth.
Yeah,
But yeah, this was a fun discussion, man.
absolutely.
I
So
enjoyed watching these two movies, man. Like I said, watching that first Demons movie, it made me want to watch Brain Dead because
yeah,
I love Brain Dead so much, and of course it's highly quotable, like we said earlier.
have you seen Meet the Feebles by Peter
Yes,
Jackson?
I've seen Meet the Feebles. That movie is fucking insane
That
and
movie is-
entertaining.
Yeah. When I
Like
saw
there's
the-
movies that offend you, and then there's movies like, yeah, it's offensive, but it's entertaining as hell. I can't help it.
Yeah, I think for the first time I was 14 when I watched Meet the Feebles and I was like, the fuck is happening?
I think I was like 17 when I first seen that movie.
Yeah.
I had seen Brain Dead before Meet the Feebles, so
Yeah.
I didn't even know. And I think this was around the time close to when Lords of the Rings first came out. I was like, wait a minute, this the same guy that did Brain Dead? And
I
then
I already knew like 1 year prior, and it's like when Peter Jackson was announced for the Lord of the Rings, I'm like, that's gonna be good.
it was cool.
First of all, like I was like, I can't believe it. But then it's like I for sure know, and we also saw it like with when they released the special edition, you know, with all the handmade effects, you know, with the orcs and everything, is like, yeah, totally in the right hand. And yeah, Peter Jackson,
He did it justice.
Yeah. is like, thank you for the best for the best trilogy that exists.
And another movie I enjoyed of his that he had some issues with the studio with was The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox.
I still haven't watched Frighteners, because I know when it came out, I was so offended that it had CGI that I didn't watch it back in the day.
The ghost was CGI.
Yeah, so it's like a Peter Jackson movie with CGI.
But Jeffrey
Hell
Combs
no.
in there, fucking amazing.
Yeah, I have to watch it. Like, but yeah, back in the day, yes, you know, back in the days it was like, you know, no CGI in horror movies and no fucking keyboards in black metal. Like,
Fucking VCR Death posted something on there. I was like, I remember VCR Death. He posted stuff that I was like, yeah, I gotta check this movie out. I think it's Metamorphosis from 1990. You know, this movie is so insane. Dude holding the gun towards the guy's face, and he just watched him transform into this giant monster and just ate his ass up. I was like, this is the batshit craziness that we had in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, there's
Society
so
was another one that was crazy.
There's so many fantastic crazy movies, and then next week we're gonna talk a crazy movie. Basically crazy because there's so many awesome people working in the movie that you never think you would have like in the same vicinity.
And directed by the man who did Car Wash and Last Dragon.
Yeah, and you have like, you know, if before I read like this exists, it's like, oh, there's a movie with Terry Funk and Klaus Kinski. It's like, the fuck?
He's like, after watching the movie, I know he's like, man, we needed more Terry Funk and Klaus Kinski together.
Yeah.
That would have been the tag team that would terrorize all tag teams.
Absolutely. I would just think about it. You know, if you would have gotten Klaus Kinski into wrestling, first of all, I think he wouldn't have like he wouldn't have probably didn't like he would just be himself. Like.
Hey, that video you shared in your story is exactly how it would have been. Okay. Hey, I didn't even understand it. Yeah, I felt his promo on that. He was going off.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary from Werner Herzog that he did?
I have not seen it.
Like it's in German like geliebter Feind or mein bester Feind, like basically the beloved enemy. And it's really about just like working together with Kinski and
the nightmare that is.
Yeah, the absolute nightmare. But also on the other hand, you know, Time Stalkers lives by Kinski's portrayal in there.
And that's the thing. Like, I would love to hear Michael Schultz talk about his time working with
Yeah.
Kinski. You know, considering the notorious figure that he is.
Yeah, like every time you have a director that worked with Kinski, you get the best stories. I know on one of more occasions, I think there was also with Büchler, did one of the last movies of Kinski, where again people offered him to kill him. like with the clip from Fitzcarraldo, which I shared like in the story, they also or was it on Fitzcarraldo or was it on Aku Ire? It was of one of these movies where they had like also like like natives, like they're from like a jungle tribe, and they like offer it like, you know, if you want him gone, we can make him disappear.
Damn. And you know what? Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, but as you know, Werner Herzog is one of the only people who can survive Kinski and still work with together. Still, one of my most favorite things is, you know, have you seen the YouTube peak of Werner Herzog, you know, being in LA and interviewed, and then you hear shot and Werner Herzog is getting shot during the interview.
Really?
Yeah, and you know it was like a PP gun. Oh. But you know, but he was still, you know, he saw the blood through the things, and it's like the interview like was like, now we can continue the interview. It's like fine. And he like continued the interview,
no,
of course. Like,
no sell it, brother.
Yeah, no sold like being shot by a PP gun in an interview. But this is also the sort of chill you have when you work with Kinski on the set.
Just imagine, it just popped in my mind. Klaus Kinski and Richard Lynch in one movie.
I have to look if there's such a thing.
Just imagine those two in a movie.
I'm pretty sure that's like that's going to be like this will be like a release from hell.
I can imagine those two in the movie together. Yeah. The way they are as actors and as characters.
Yeah.
Man, I would want to see them just fuck shit up.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is, as soon as I see Kinski like in a movie, I know that movie is watchable because you get him Kinski.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about him is also that even in German, that barely any Kinski movie you hear actually his real voice.
Really? They dub his voice in German?
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because almost no fucking studio can bring him back in and redo his voice. Because like who can work with him together? You can't keep him like in the studio for a while, and otherwise it would probably take 1 year until you can get everything. It's just like he's impossible. It was impossible to work with.
Damn.
Yeah. So most German movies, I think there's 2 or 3 German movies where it's actually you hear his real voice. Otherwise, it's very well done by other voice actors, but yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It is really crazy.
They gotta get somebody else to dub his voice.
Yeah, because it's impossible. First of all, he wanted so much money to do it, and second of all, every time he did it, it was you basically had to give like everybody vacation after.
It's an experience right there.
Yeah.
I need a vacation after dealing with this guy.
So I'm really looking forward next week to talk Time Stalkers. Have you already watched it?
I've watched it, but I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah, because this is really a movie. It's like it's not like it's like this is undiscovered gem that you have to watch. It is like seminal to science fiction. No, but I think it's really a movie that totally got lost over time.
Like I said, nobody talks about it.
Yeah, and it's so enjoyable.
And like I said, I've looked through Michael Schultz's list of what he directed, and I tend to ignore that movie because nobody really mentions it. So I only know his most known movies.
And I really like this combination of Western and sci-fi. It's better than Wild Wild West.
God, well, anything got to be better than Wild Wild West. Don't tell me you like that movie, Pete.
No.
Oh, I hate that movie with a passion.
Yeah. First of all, like I hate like steampunk as it is. Like.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm definitely gonna watch the movie again, and we talk that. And then after that, we got Hell Comes to Frogtown. So it's gonna be great back-to-back weeks.
It's gonna be awesome. And of course, if anybody needs to watch something else, go and watch the 90s Gimmicks episode of the Comic Book Roundtable.
Oh man!
It was it was basically like you basically had a little bit short on the cast, but Matt and you totally carried the whole episode.
That episode was so funny with what we was just seeing with our eyes. The foils, Bloodstrike. I'm like, the fuck is this shit? Everything from the 90s is coming back.
Yeah, and I think the best thing that you said is, and it is like really true with comics right now, is with comic book speculation. If some people are still so stupid and speculate on these things, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Bloodstrike. I saw that shit and I'm like, really? That's a dollar bin book all day, every day. Nobody should be paying no $50 for that book.
Yeah, and the market, the bubble burst. Who is still like investing like in books like those?
Yeah.
Like, well, have fun. If you find somebody that is more stupid and buying from you, congrats.
Hey, if a dollar book is selling for that much, man, I might as well put mine out there to say, hey, pay me that much money to buy.
Yeah, and then like also the other things that you mentioned, which is like, and for me always the saddest thing, the most saddest, and also I have to say the most pathetic thing is when a reprint sells more than the original book just because you put a fucking foil. Foil covers look beautiful. Foil covers look really nice when you buy them for cover price.
Yeah. I do not like this whole let's take books from 20, 30 years ago and put a foil on it and sell it. I'm like, come on, man. I'd rather just get the original.
And also, I believe personally, if you put a foil, like if you change the structure or like of the cover and add a gimmick to it, it can't be a facsimile anymore.
Nope. It's just a gimmick. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just a gimmick. But yeah, that me and Matt held it down.
Yeah. Because foil covers are nice. I'm buying foil covers, but like I say, I pre-order them for cover price. It's like
as long as you're not paying that Transformers 1 foil cover.
First of all, that book is boring as fuck. I already canceled that book for my pull list. I'm a huge Transformers fan, but first of all, like when you read it, you think like the guy who did it, like who wrote and did the art. I forgot the name of him. It feels like it's a chore. And the other thing is, it totally redoes the Transformers origin, but just makes it boring and bland. Like it's also like I think the colors are so bland in there, and everything is need to be dark, and it's just like it's like I'm like nope, I'm out, like fuck this shit, like
Cancel that.
yeah, it's and I'm really at that point where I'm like, doesn't matter if I like a
And
franchise or not. If the book is not good, I'm canceling it.
I don't think like I'm a Transformers fan, but I love the GI Joe as well. I don't think I'm picking up when they launched the GI Joe under that imprint neither, because I'm like, it's under the Skybound, which is Robert Kirkman's print, and I'm like, Walking Dead, that passed by, and I was like, I was falling off on that, so I'm like, I'm not buying anything from Image when it comes to GI Joe and Transformers.
Yeah, and like I said, I gave it a try, and I was very disappointed. I immediately I just went into like a public library and it's like, here's a bunch of comics. Yeah,
Get them off your hands.
Yeah, I noticed when I.
It's disappointing, man.
Yeah.
It's disappointing when we're fans of something and we want to give it a try, and it's just not good.
But also on the other hand, I'm past that point where I'm like this, like I'm saying like, oh no, why they're doing this? I'm like I said, it's like, hey, if you don't want me as customer, it's completely fine.
And
I have other stuff to read it.
And I've been debating this. Like, after this Christopher Priest Vampirella run ends, I'm probably not gonna buy much of Vampirella after this.
Yeah, I mean, I will give when there's a new runner, give it a chance. But also, it's also one of them to say, like, on the other hand, I just read Dracula Vampirella Rage issue number 2. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's good.
It is like, of course, like a lot of stuff in there. It's not something you should. That's also why I'm not getting like the renumbering. It's not something that you should pick up as a new reader, because Christopher Priest is like basically referencing his Vampirella stuff from the last 3-4 years over and over again. So when you're out of the loop, you probably don't.
And that's why I feel like after his run, it'd probably be best if I drop off of Vampirella for a while, because Priest did such a fantastic job with it that it's going to be hard for anybody to follow.
It first of all, I think that if somebody starts, which with Dynamite probably will be that way, let's say, since they don't care about continuity, it's gonna be like something completely new.
Yeah.
But it's a very like it's a big shoes to step in, and Priest did such a phenomenal job, and I don't think that Dynamite had any idea how far he would bring Vampirella. And for me personally, I think that Priest's Vampirella run, especially since we have like now 4 years of compelled like mythology that is based on classic Vampirella, so it's not like Priest took like, oh, I'm totally starting from new. No, he's referencing a lot of Vampirella history and mixing this with his new ideas, which totally feels genuine. From my opinion, makes the Priest run the seminal Vampirella run to read.
Yep, and that's why when they release a collector's edition, that omnibus, I'm getting that.
Absolutely, and they should totally. But I would also say just the stuff the Priest wrote, because the Panther, and I also think sadly the Victory miniseries, they're like both horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like.
But Secret 6 was fantastic by Priest, and
that
of course,
that to me is like essential when it comes to reading Vampirella's runs. Is that Secret 6?
Yeah, absolutely, and also Draculina, both miniseries so far. Or is it schon the third miniseries? Like fucking miniseries, just make it ongoing. But everything that Priest wrote, like I say, upstairs, like the top box is just Priest Vampirella, and I put everything that the Priest wrote, like in his Vampiverse in there. So like I say, like you don't have to actually to read anything else. Vampirella, of course, there are good stories every once in a while, but if you really want to have like to know Vampirella and you want to start with the Priest run, because you're getting the references, and it's very important to read this run in full. So it's actually for anybody who wants to track down the single issues, good luck putting it in continuity. Since Dynamite did the stupid thing and like, hey, every few issues we're gonna start again with number 1.
It's that Marvel effect. Everybody took what Marvel did and just kept doing it over and over again, and it's frustrating as a
and
person
right now, and they're suffering from it right now. There's some like especially like with Red Sonja, for example. Red Sonja had some horrible runs in the last year that they restarted with a number 1. If they would, like, for example, like with the Mark Russell run, I really love the Mark Russell run. If they would have continued the run afterwards, I think by Mirka Andolfo, which was horrible, but if they would have continued the numbering, then something in me would have said, it's a continuation, I want to have the numbers intact. There's a big chance that I would have read the run. But since they restarted with a number 1, I'm like, it's a perfect jumping off point. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Dynamite.
You ain't got to keep with it.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thought process going in with Vampirella. Like after this Priest run, and after Dead Flowers, I'm gonna lay off of modern Vampirella books.
Yeah.
Because Dynamite just tries to exploit money from us with all their miniseries and all that stuff. So I'm like, I'm just gonna lay off of Vampire.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a very rude awakening for Dynamite very soon, since the business model, as you can see with Marvel, like basically now you see that actually a lot online that new number 1s are perfect jumping on points, and more people luckily are getting it. And it's really, it's like you can only fool people for so long.
Especially us seasoned comic book readers who, we see. I just see new number 1s as a way of, like, man, do I want another number 1 of the same book that I've been reading for years? Like, how many number 1s can I have in my collection?
Exactly, and like I said, it makes it so tough. Like, because on the one hand, they want to milk the existing readers because, of course, the print numbers of the comic books are quite low at the time. On the other hand, they also want to chase this ever elusive new audience, which, of course, how the fuck you gonna bring like a new audience in a comic book? And when they ask, the first thing when they ask, hey, where I should start reading, is like,
the only audience they're gonna have is the audience that's been there forever.
Yeah, and
you're not gonna get too many new readers into Vampirella or Red Sonja and stuff because they're not really interested.
Yeah, so
they might give it a try, but they might drop off after issue 3 or something.
Exactly. So personally, I would not be surprised if in the next year we are gonna see some publishers going away.
Yeah, because there's already too many of them. Too many new publishers popping up and stuff.
Yeah, and like even like all the established one, what you hear, like, it's not like they're like a lot of like in red numbers.
Yeah.
And the government is only handing out so much money.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week. Had a great time discussing demons.
Lots of fun.
And that concludes our horror month of October. Great month. Fantastic, focusing on mainly zombies and stuff like that. And we had a great time talking these films. So if you have not checked out our last couple movies, because you know who not messaged me, but he commented on the video, Leroy Green. He's like, he's like, you guys are back? And I was like, we never left. We just moved over to my channel. So he had to sub up my channel because he he thought we disappeared after you stopped doing the video.
But very cool. Like, Leroy is fantastic. He's also awesome on Instagram, always likes stuff, and of course, also a big fan of The Last Dragon, which you hopefully meet soon, so you get your Roadhouse.
It's the same weekend I'm hanging out with the guys, so I'm like, fuck, I can't really go down there and try. It's a 3-hour drive, so
bring the guys. So do you have anything else planned the weekend?
Hanging out with the fellas, man.
Guys, Yeah, and of course, send my regards to G-Man. Al is also coming on.
Yeah, I was with Matt. They stopped through a
Al,
couple of Florida stops.
Yeah, also send my regards, of course, to Al and to Matt. Love those guys. And of course, to Robert G-Man. So it's gonna be epic. Like, I would love to be a fly on that wall.
We would love for you to be with us for this glorious weekend.
Yeah, but if I would be in the US this weekend, I would be in Cleveland to watch Samhain live, the NWA wrestling event, which I'm of course gonna watch on pay-per-view tomorrow Saturday. Yeah, actually for me it's Sunday 2 a.m. in the morning, but I'm on vacation.
Same.
Yeah.
Vacation starters for us.
Yes, exactly. It's every year, of course. I must say, it's like for me, it's like Halloween week is vacation. So can't wait to watch like the Samhain event. There's some really cool matches on there. I think like the EC3 as champion is killing it. Absolutely love it. And you still have like Chris Masters there as Chris Adonis.
Yeah.
And I always thought, back in the day, the roster of WWE was shit in the early mid 2000s. And I really always think that did Chris Masters dirty because I really loved his gimmick.
The Master Lock.
Yeah, the Master Lock. And yeah, Lashley shouldn't have broken. I was like, Lashley's so cool right now, but they pushed him way too young. He was not ready back in the day.
Yeah, neither one of them.
Yeah.
But they'll tune in next week when we be back to talk Time Stalkers, and I'll probably have some video up on the channel, detailing, me and hanging out with Robert, Al, and Matt, and there's other members of the Florida community that's looking to converge, and hang out with us this weekend. So we're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be like the formation of Voltron,
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for content on my channel and on YouTube and on Instagram. I meant.
Yeah. Thanks, Las Cruces. Thanks for being here. And thanks to Jojo. Thanks to Lamar. And thanks to everybody who's crazy enough to watch this on the rewind and still makes it to this. Because like Sean has already stopped me. Otherwise, I would talk 2 more hours about wrestling.
Yeah, I had to cut it loose, man. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great weekend, y'all.
Savage weekend.